Yo! Video games.
Yeah, right. Bulletstorm had a lot of screen shake. I don't remember, man. I remember the game being fun. I wanted to beat it too. Like, I was really interested in beating that game.
I've been playing this like ratio stuff for so long that I have barely played normal team shit in forever.
I don't.
Yo, woo!
Yeah, I would like to get back into Bulletstorm, to be honest, but I just don't want to play it for, like, you know, one player. I'm weird like that, chat. I hate one-player things. Bulletstorm thin from People Can Fly, Painkiller, but...
Oh my god, he was no frames in the air!
Yeah.
On immersion and different backgrounds, but I suppose coincidentally reaching to similar conclusion.
Yeah, it is owned by Epic.
Yeah. So Epic is the big boys, like they're the
Well,
ones.
Epic owns the IP.
Yeah. Play Warzone? Bro, Muffin, you haven't invited me in forever. What are you talking about? Stop it.
Youch!
Magnetic Tempest.
I mean, I'd probably go back, play Bulletstorm, and be like, yeah, this game is kind of like...
Oh wow, no super, that's cool.
It's not like it's behind its time, you know what I mean? But I'm sure if it like kept getting like more games, it would have been ahead of its time.
We're gonna play against super top tier guys. Put one frame of input delay for Christ's sake! I'm seeing him in the air and then he's up my ass!
So you played
Rollback can't handle that shit.
Yeah, that game was fun. I would legit go back on stream and actually just mess around with it, just to see how the game played. Just for fun. Witchfire? Never heard of it. Sounds like ass. If it doesn't have some sort of badass dude talking shit and shooting motherfuckers and doing combos, then yeah, it'll be a badass.
Yo, move!
They went independent.
Painkiller I've never heard of, so if that's pretty badass, then yeah.
Jesus, Iron Man.
Okay, so they did go independent after being owned by Epic, and then they bought the IP back from Epic.
Gearbox?
No, People Can Fly.
Oh wow.
They actually bought the IP back from Epic.
So, who's People Can Fly? What do they work on?
Outlanders right now.
Okay, so they're...
Ow!
So it has nothing to do with Epic then. Fuck Epic then.
No, yeah, it's back.
Ow!
Developer bought their own rights.
Iron Man, chill!
Rare, but happens.
Yeah, right? They probably saw something in it.
Chill, Iron Man! Fucking chill, bruh!
But it's hilarious. They spend all that money buying back an IP and do nothing with it. It's like, what the fuck?
Well,
They just want to have it in their
I can tell you what happened, but I can't tell you.
No.
He can't tell.
Was it 10 years ago?
No, this was less than 10 years ago.
Oh, no, dollar.
Yeah.
Painkiller was dope. The giant wooden stake gun. Huh? They made Painkiller. They made the OG Painkiller. Okay, so that's why those games are similar. Makes sense.
Yeah.
They did something with it. They put Duke Nukem in it. I don't get it. Oh, Painkiller was a Doom tribute. Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, why have a Doom tribute when you just play Doom?
Whoa.
How's Outriders going? Are people still playing that game? I heard it had a really successful one.
Ah, the remastered version had Doom tribute.
Oh, Jesus!
That's because Gearbox published Remastered and they own.
Damn.
Even that's apparently not a bit of it.
I'm gonna go out there and say something that's gonna get me destroyed by chat. Duke Nukem was overrated. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. I don't think
They
that.
said catchy things.
Here's
Yeah,
the
right? Like,
here's the thing.
cool.
Duke Nukem when
What? Dude, we got to
when
fucking
Duke
roll back
Nukem
with this guy. Oh my
went
god.
3D, it was sort of unique because it was one of the first like sort of fully 3D games at the time. Do you remember a lot of like Doom was just sort of like 2D assets
Dude,
just propped on top of each other?
Yeah.
So Duke Nukem was the first kind of pushed 3D when it first came out.
Oh.
After that,
Oh,
This is why I stopped playing.
it's kind of
Yeah, we got to get out of here. Sorry, man, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
in retrospect, like it didn't necessarily do anything that special.
Special, yeah. It wasn't innovative at any time.
It kind of was, because again, like it was kind of doing like some of the early, really truly 3D environment stuff.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a little more interactive, with its world than some games were at the time.
That's what it is. I think people liked it because it was so edgy. Like the character was edgy, and people were like, "Oh fuck yeah, dude!"
I like it because honestly, when Duke Nukem came out, like the whole video game industry was basically like a fucking like frat boy.
Yeah, right.
Like the entire industry, everything about it was basically like a guy like in his first year at college in a frat house. And some people obviously are very upset that that's not the case
I don't know
anymore.
where she
But
What is it? That stupid raccoon or fucking what is it? The squirrel? That
Conker.
Austin? Yeah.
Conker.
Yeah, exactly. Stupid shit like that. Like, hey, look out,
even the creator of Conker is like, I could never make that game again today.
Of course.
He's like, I wouldn't make that game. Again
Oh,
today.
okay. I was like, yeah, of course he could.
Like I'm just not like that anymore.
Yeah. Duke also had a personality. Well, that was the difference between him and Turok. But the thing about Turok is that Turok was really fucking cool. I think the way the movement and the different weapons that the character had in Turok made it something special. Now, like Stimon said, like Duke, I think Turok was a one-hit pony. Like, the Turok 1 was great, and then...
Turok had potential. It's
Yeah,
it's just kind of the
did.
fact that like it was kind of tied to fucking acclaim. That was
Yeah.
Turok's biggest problem.
I was obsessed with Turok.
And guess what company tried to resurrect the Turok IP after Acclaim went under? Disney Interactive.
Lord.
Whoops.
Wow. Ouch.
So they don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I beat 1 and 2, and then 3 hit, and I just lost interest.
Duke Nukem's downfall is the fact that it's like, okay, like, what does Duke add to anything gameplay-wise besides
He's edgy.
being like, a sarcastic asshole?
Yeah.
Not much.
Right? Like, what does he add gameplay-wise? And I was just like, yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't think he was the super edgy, hot, cool guy. Like, I thought he was lame from the start, so I didn't really get the whole hype of
I
him.
mean, he's fun. He's a fun character, right?
Yes.
And I think you could still do a Duke Nukem game today, but like, the question kind of becomes, what does Duke have besides his sarcastic wit?
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying, gameplay.
And there's nothing wrong with just having like a traditional first-person shooter with
my God.
with a big comedy bit. That's totally cool and fine, but like, no one's gonna spend $100 million on that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's mostly just like Duke comes from a time where you could have smaller one-trick pony games and sell them and still make a profit. You can't do that now. That's the real problem. Is that,
Yeah.
like, you can't have these smaller project things. Like, it's rare that you just see a sort of like what I call a shits and giggles game. One of the last ones I can remember is that fucking
Conquer over Duke.
what the
Okay.
fuck was that SNK fighting game? That
SNK
girl-
Heroines?
Heroines. That was like one of the last times I remember seeing a company like, hey, let's just do it for shits and giggles. Finally, like they were not thinking of anything esports with that game at all. They're just like, shits and giggles. Let's have a SNK girl fighting game and let's give Terry a pair of tits. It'll be hilarious. But even that now, like nowadays, is just that shit is just not financially sound. It's just not practical financially. You just can't do shit like that. And if you do, it's like an indie game. So it's kind of it's up to indies. Like you can make a Duke Nukem game, but it
Well,
probably
Duke
needs
Nukem was AAA.
at the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if you want to make a Duke Nukem game now, you should probably not try to make it look any better than what it used to back in the day. Make it all retro and nostalgic. Hey, it's early 3D Duke Nukem. That's the only way you're going to be able to afford it. No one's going to put up that fucking cash otherwise.
Serious Sam was another one, I guess. He was super edgy and shit. And
Serious Sam was just really fast paced, like super arcadey fast paced.
I remember Postal got banned. Like that was like a game that was like, yeah. It's
Matt has a really good deep dive into that whole franchise, and it's a long fucking story.
Yeah.
Of like fuck ups and like.
Oh, Serious Sam was a parody. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's better to have a character that actually has a personality to bring a little bit more life to a game and stuff. Like Samus in Metroid, she doesn't really have a personality. That's like.
Oh, they tried to give her one, but it was the worst mistake.
It was the worst mistake they ever did.
The worst mistake Nintendo ever fucking made.
Yeah.
Maybe not the worst, but damn close.
Does Noel actually have his command grab in this game? I don't think he does.
John 116. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, John 117.
I knew I had a number.
Sir, finishing this war. I'm gonna finish this war.
That always blew my mind too, because like Mike was Wesker. He was always fucking like, "Oh, the books are so good. Yeah, I love them."
A lot of people I knew people that actually read the fucking books. I read people. Yeah.
I'm just kind of like bewildered. I'm like, what?
No, I had no idea. An ex-girlfriend of mine was like, "Yeah, these books are actually really fucking good." She was like reading. She read more of the books and played the games. I was like, "What?" Like, dude, it's like a whole franchise of books about fucking.
And they're like, "Oh, it's so good," and I'm like, "Really?"
I'm like, I don't know.
In the game, it's just kind of like
I have no
we like
idea.
Aliens, but we couldn't get the Aliens license, so here's Halo.
There's a whole world building when it comes to the books, and I'm just like, you know what?
Book building.
Yeah, book building. Yeah, more power to you.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, right.
Love something.
How the hell do you get stand 8? Is this the same fucking guy?
I think so. Yeah, Red versus Blue was great. I didn't really get the comedy too much, but I know they had a lot of Monty Ohm, crazy fight scenes and stuff like that. But I couldn't get past like the dialogue. It was good comedy, but it just wasn't for me type of comedy.
Why the hell?
Yeah, Armand.
Why are we here? Just to suffer.
Armand. Yeah, dude. R.I.P. Monty Ohm. You know what's funny? I recently just realized that I hadn't seen the entire episodes of Dead Fantasy. I think I'm gonna watch it all with the chat because holy crap, dude, that shit is a masterpiece.
No.
And again, somebody that can do all that stuff on his own is absolutely insane.
I remember like when Master Chief Collection came out, and I'm like, okay, let's watch like the cut scenes from like
yeah, exactly.
2
I'll
and
take the
3.
cut
See
scenes
what
or
everyone, and
something
then
like
like literally, I'm just watching Master Chief like strung up and like having a conversation with a giant talking penis.
What?
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And
What
like
the
I
hell is
immediately
happening?
called my why is Master Chief talking about fucking penis? Oh, the grave mind. I'm like, why did
what?
they design it like this?
The what?
Well, it's accumulation of.
And then they get into some deep lore, and you're like,
I was
nah.
like, yeah, it's like a hive mind plant thing. I'm like,
You know what? No.
It's a giant talking penis, Mike.
Yeah.
Why did they design it like that?
Yeah, Dead Fantasy was a dub. He actually had a couple of fight scenes where he actually played the character that was fighting and stuff. Aloyd was another thing.
Beat him. Get him out of here.
I'm gonna fucking back out of this dude.
Yeah, he was like, no, I'm out of
Back out
here.
of this dude. We already played you.
One and done, one and
We already
done.
played you. I want it done on you now. Who's next?
Go back to the ratio.
You don't want to see? Okay.
Oh,
All right.
We can do ratio.
All right, sure. Live in your fantasy world of Build-A-Bear workshops, but anyone who looks at the fucking grave mine was like, that's a talking penis.
Yeah.
Oh, you fixed your buttons for crazy? Okay. Oh god, we got one from Keonix too. Keonix is licensed.
I have heard that. I heard in the Master Chief when they redid it, like they definitely look a lot more phallic than what it used to.
Stoic.
I mean, look, Halo is nothing but a ripoff of Aliens, and Aliens is nothing but a giant penis-headed, space monster.
Get him, Simmons! How dare they rip off aliens?
Everyone rips off Aliens.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I legit want to watch Monty own videos now. I want to go watch.
Halo is aliens?
what the
Yeah?
fuck is this? The Dreamcast version? What the fuck?
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Go to versus mode. Usually how it works.
The other guy was. The other guy was moving
If this
stuff.
is Dreamcast mode, then all the buttons might be fucked up. Whatever this is.
Can't wait.
Xenomorph looks like a penis. I don't know what you're on. Oh my god.
I think that was a troll.
That's bait.
That's troll.
That's bait.
That is bait. There's no way. There's no way you're that fucking blind.
Dude, for years I never saw
That's
it as
still
that.
one of my favorite memories of film.
I've never really saw it as that until you guys really mentioned it.
That is bait.
It's just a reference. Destiny's like Halo. Yeah, it is.
Developer.
Yeah.
Penises are rip-off xenomorphs. I like that more.
I like that. Yeah,
You
that's
know
true.
what?
That's actually
You know what?
true.
I'll go with that. I mean, if you go by Prometheus canon, I guess that's true.
Oh yeah, buttons are off. They're fun.
All right, we're back now.
No Dreamcast Simu. Sorry. No Dreamcast simulation. We're not set up for it. You gotta do this shit the right way, people. Come on, people. Here. Challenge.
You done goofed.
Aliens preceded penises. That's actually canon.
You done goofed.
I'm sending out the invites now. That's
Yep.
just the way it's gonna go.
Absolute favorite thing. Because I think was it you or was it
What's up, Dark Ace?
Right.
Chris when we were filming at the old house? We were doing like the last shot of the night. We had to like stick the head back on. You were Samurai Rocker, who was wearing it inside Max's old house.
Might have been like me for like the reshoots towards the end.
It's like,
We did a lot of reshoots at the end.
Yeah, we were like.
And in the reshoots, I was the alien, and that was literally like the last few days. We had to do a couple of shots.
Interesting.
But were you a giant penis?
Yes.
No, there was that moment where like had to put the head back on. We had like 3 people had to like operate the suit.
Right, Toscano? I keep saying that. We're all xenomorphs. We're not really xenomorphs, we're face huggers. We fucking... we get it in
putting
them.
this back on,
Yeah.
and literally Steve's holding it. He's standing to the side helping us out. He's like, "You ever realize the alien's head is kind of shaped like a dick?"
Yeah.
Max had like that slow look over, like, "Are you serious?"
Ratio top tier.
This is ratios. Look now. It looks like.
You gotta
Actually, no. This is not ratios. It's not.
If you want ratio, you gotta pick ratio.
You gotta understand, guys. I was not that much of a fan of aliens as much as you guys were, and the reason why is because I'm not I'm not a fucking super fan of horror movies. I don't get super excited for horror movies.
Fucking weeb.
Horror movies.
Horror movies.
Horror movies. Yeah, horror.
Yeah, no horror movies.
Horror?
I don't like horror movies.
Horror movies?
No horror movies. I don't
those
like
horror
horror
movies
movies.
away from me.
Yeah.
Aliens is barely horror. Like the first one kind of is.
The first one is legit a horror movie. So
I guess.
stop it.
It is.
And
It's
yeah,
just not a boogeyman. It's an alien.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
alien, but it's like, yeah, it's the closest thing to a horror movie, for sure. They called it a haunted house in space,
yeah, right.
which I thought was always an interesting descriptor of how they made the movie. Well, I want to make a haunted house in space. I'm like, yeah, but you made more of a creature feature in space.
Creature feature.
It's weird rewatching Alien 1, like, knowing how obvious the plant, like, you know, the shit is in hindsight. Like, how obviously evil fucking Ash's character is. Like, all the little, like...
It's tropey.
Perspective's crazy, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it was made in the 70s. But it is kind of funny when, like, if you're really, really paying attention, it's like, yeah, they actually...
You definitely didn't know he was a robot.
You know he's a robot. They definitely drop hints that, like, something's fucking up with this guy. Originally. It's interesting. I don't know. Alien was a very interesting movie to me. The whole...
Were you player 2, Steve?
Yeah.
It scared him hard. I also have, and yeah, I know it probably, it drives Kenny crazy. I have, like, really hard, like, separate, like, put myself in the character's place in the movie kind of thing.
Yep.
I'm a lot like Sakurai in that interview where he's just kind of like, anytime I see like horror movie stuff, I'm just thinking about like the animator or the, you know, how many weeks did it spend for him to make those cockroaches fill up the screen or something. That's just kind of where my brain's going all the time. Obviously, I saw you made me watch Alien 1 really late. We watched it with your dad.
Did we?
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot about
yeah,
that.
What, well,
15 years ago?
yeah.
Oh wow, actually.
And I remember I think it was the last Alien movie I saw. Because I had seen 2, 3, and 4 before 1. I finally saw 1. And I was mostly it was good, but I was also taken aback at how much worse the animatronics were than Aliens. Because it wasn't Stan Winston, and it was the 70s.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, that chest burster looks really bad.
It's probably the most aged part of the movie.
Yeah.
Is the chest burster scene.
Mostly-
the shock of it's really bit running away.
Yeah, mostly when the running off the table part, I was like, oh god, that looks bad. Because like in Aliens, when it comes out of that woman, like it's got
Laura.
little hands that are individually moving and shit.
Yeah.
So it's got all this like great Stan Winston studio effects stuff, and they like light the thing on fire.
Yeah.
So it was definitely the wrong call to see Aliens in reverse. Because I don't know, craftsmanship of Stan Winston Studios is still phenomenal to this day. The suit itself was just like that shot of him going in the air that doesn't really look that great in retrospect.
Damn.
It just kind of looks like a dude in the costume going eh.
I think it's pretty scary. I think Alien 1 is really
It's
pretty
very
fucking
well
scary.
done. It's very well done. But like, kind of like how you're kind of really really elitist about like the suits of Predators not being up to snuff at all.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of the same way with me. With
Pretty much the
Alien.
suits in any Predator movie that has not been a Predator 1 or 2. I've had some issues. I think that the only good Predator has been the Wolf Predator from AVP 2.
Yeah.
The Wolf Predator is pretty cool.
But otherwise, I mean, and you're right, because in Samurai Rocker, he feels this. I had a
Yeah.
conversation with him.
I think Predator is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the.
It was done real cheap.
Yeah, and it shows.
And it shows those costumes do not look anywhere near as good as.
Yeah, I
ones
don't like
that-
the Falcon Predator and any of those. I think they're kind of
Pizza?
dumb.
I like the mask of.
Yeah, some elements look cool, but they just don't come across very well.
No.
And then the Predator is like the worst. Like
Yeah.
the big fucking hulking goofy Predator is like
Big CG one. And, so.
got her.
And the big linebacker predators and
Yeah, the linebacker AVP1 Predators are a
AVP1
bit
predators.
like they call them like WWE Predators.
WWE Predators.
They really look like it, dude.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. That's so dumb.